Hello, hello, hello. This is Private Talk Podcast with Alexis, Texas. We are back, season 3, and today we have the privilege of having Ben Ricciardi.
No.
I said it. Ricciardi. No. Fuck me. Hold on. Ricciardi. I asked you too, and I knew I was going to fuck it up.
I know. Okay.
Private Talk, we have the pleasure of having Ben Ricciardi on the couch.
Hey.
Hello, hello. Welcome.
How are we?
I am great. It's nice to meet you and have
Nice
you
to
on the
meet you
Private
too.
Talk couch. I feel like we've apparently we've been talking before, saying we've known so many mutual friends. It's like 2
I know.
degrees,
Yeah, it's a
separation.
couple degrees.
So it's kind of like we know each other, but we're gonna get to know each other a little bit more on Private Talk.
I love
get
that.
to know, and my listeners out there, and get to know you a bit more.
Let's go.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you have going on? I know you're a brand and social media specialist. What kind of things do you have cooking up with you right now?
So I live kind of like multiple lives. So I own a full service digital and social agency, working on the corporate side of stuff. So we work with Adidas, a brand called C4. I have a staff of about 25. So that's kind of the agency side.
Is that like your baby, like the main one, and then you're gonna like segue off, or is it something that's the most current?
That's what brings in the majority kind of the dollars for the business side. Then I have my following on social media, which has that whole world. And then this year I got super into crypto and NFTs, but I don't really post about it just because it's kind of still new to the world. So it's like I've dove into that. So I kind of work 3 jobs, don't really have a manager. So I've just been doing it all myself. So it's been an interesting ride, but it's been a blast.
So is it, you say you're doing it all yourself, is like, and you going and kind of stepping into these new endeavors, like how did you know, did you just be like interested in it and that you just developed into a company and something you became more into, or is it just kind of like you knew had someone calling?
I'll bring it back. So I was a music manager for like 15 years, managing music artists. I also was an artist way back when. And when I stopped managing, I kind of knew I never wanted to manage artists again. They're a little crazy, as am I,
because
probably.
the experiences that you've had.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. I had some amazing people that I worked with, but it's a tough, cutthroat industry. And so I started this agency with $1,500 to my name. And I was like, man, I just know I don't want to work for people like that ever again. So I was in a 10 by 10 room in my brother's office of popular demand, no air conditioning, no heat, super depressed, being like, yo, let me just figure this out. But I love to market. Marketing and branding has always been my passion. And I hired 1 person, then 2. Then before I knew it, about 6 months in, there was like 8 people sitting in this 10 by 10 room, no air conditioning, no heat. And I looked around, I'm like, we're all getting sweaty in here.
Yeah.
Let me upgrade to an office.
I always like to be uncomfortable and be really great at what you do.
Exactly. So from there it grew, and it's just been growing and growing and growing. But what's wild is, we grew really big, had Adidas as our main client, but we had a bunch of others, and we were cranking going into the pandemic. Pandemic hits, my whole world changes, right? That day, all my clients were like, yeah, we're going to like pause on everything. And so then I'm like staring into the wall again, going like...
How did that make you feel? Was it like, because you have such an entrepreneur mindset where you're like, I got this, or you're like, fuck, the world's going to end. Like, what are we going to do?
So I have, I think everybody in life has their like spidey, like their like superpower, right? And I have a couple of superpowers, I think. Nice. One of my superpowers is I could just get beaten to a pulp, and like I'm like literally there just beaten up, and I'm like, I'll figure it out. Yeah. And so I've always kind of had that mentality of like, yo, I'm going to get destroyed, but I'm going to wake back up and I'm just going to figure it out.
Get right back up.
Yeah. And so when this happened, I literally flipped into that mode, and I'm like, all good. No ego about it. Let's go. Had to make some changes, had to downsize. I had my baby was my office. I had this 11,000 square foot office, had a basketball court in it, movie theater in it. I used to, this is my area to flex. People would come in and be like,
is that your
whoa.
Man cave?
It was kind of like my business man cave, right? And everybody would come in and be like, yo, this place is so dope. And I had to give it up. And I had to like call my landlord with my tail between my legs and be like, bro, I can't pay you $25,000 a month right now. Like, that is not happening. Mm-hmm. Luckily, he had some like YouTuber squad that was like begging for my office for years. And they took it mid-lockdown, mid-pandemic. I got out of it scot-free. Yeah. So that was like dope. I was like, oh, good. And then like little things would happen. And I was taking jobs for like a couple grand that normally I was getting paid like 50 to 100 grand prior to pandemic. Just going like, yo, if I can pay a few of my people, keep everybody active, then I got that PPP loan that helped me a little bit. But then I just started battling. And the second half of last year started like really perking up. And then the end of last year, we got lucky, had a couple of our big clients come back on. In 2020, this year has been our biggest year to date in the last 10 years.
Amazing.
And it's been unreal. It's been a blast. And it's been a whirlwind. But you're asking about like the crypto and NFTs and like that world. I'm just a huge risk taker. Like I'm a dude that like when I get excited about something, I'm going head first. And with crypto, I was like, yo.
So it developed into like a hobby.
Yeah, it was like
a good hobby, which is
like
financially is great, I'm sure.
Yeah,
especially getting into those things early on, because that's the thing, like you said, you don't really talk about it too much. People don't, when you have those conversations, myself included, and you don't really know, it's kind of foreign, and then you almost think it's make believe, and then when you realize that it's actually real and has meaning to it, and there's some kind of substance or a quote unquote blockchain, you know what I mean? That it's like, oh, okay, it comes a little bit more. But it's, it's the reality that we're living in. You see, every other day there's a new like headline of like, oh, it's the Staples Center
700 million last
for
night.
Sure. It's crazy, but it's also, again, one of those things I feel people are just now kind of in the brink of people understanding, and just like a scraping of it, even because they're seeing these big numbers and want to be attached to it, but just don't know what that is.
Yeah, I mean, I think mainstream, the next 5 years, it's gonna really be a much more mainstream topic. But for me, like I had always dabbled in it. I learned a lot about it over the last 4, 5, 6 years. Had so many of my poker friends and all those guys that were always like, why aren't you doing this? But my worry was like I had this business that was not even incredibly stable. It was like tough. So cash wise, it was like, ugh, I can't just start like
throw it into something that you don't really know.
Exactly. So I was always learning. And then the beginning of this year, I was like, yo, I want in. Yeah. And then but with me, it's kind of, this is how I live life. It's like, I don't like dip a toe in. I'm like,
you're going all 10.
I'm diving into the cold end and I'm going to get crushed. And I got crushed. So my first like 2 months into crypto, people were giving me really bad advice. And I was investing in these shit coins,
so were you just basing it off of like, word of mouth and not doing your own like research? Because that's also sometimes I feel like what's the problem.
It was a mixture of both, but like I didn't understand things deep enough to know like, oh, if they don't have a large enough liquidity pool, when everybody tries to take their money out, there's no money to take out. So a lot of these, like, I'm not even talking Bitcoin, Ethereum, any of that stuff. I'm talking like what are known as shit coins. And so like I got into some and you see your number go way up and then drop and it's chaos. And I had some rough goes of it. People screwing me, getting screwed, all good, some rug pulls, things like that. But I learned.
But it didn't discourage you because you still kept it.
I studied and spent night after night after night learning, talking to people that knew a lot. And then I just got deep, and then I started marketing different cryptos, and that went really well. And then have always been watching the NFT space over the last year, and more and more, because I've always been on the design side of stuff and really learning it, and it's been a lot of fun.
It's fascinating. I feel like NFT things, I've definitely dabbled myself in doing whole marketplace stuff, and it's just creatively like a genius thing, and it's one of those things that feels like it's almost, when you want to say like it's kind of almost like why did it take so long, but not in a sense of like this whole like unexplainable like universe type of thing, but in a sense of like the art behind it, like what really like manifested, like what these people creatively can do, and it's being showcased, I think, in a really cool way. And I feel like it's kind of cool to like see what it's all unveiling to be.
Yeah, and I think one thing that people lose sight of is NFTs are I think it gets lost on the why of why using NFTs. And it's the validator. And I think blockchains validates things, right? So if you buy a baseball card that's worth a certain amount of money, but it ends up being a fake, you have no real way to know if it's real or authentic unless if it's been authenticated. And NFTs are being authenticated by the blockchain. And the more that those types of things happen and over time, then this is going to be something that's in our whole life. Kind of similar, I had a guy explaining this to me. It's similar to how Bluetooth, when we were first coming up with Bluetooth, people were like, wait, you're going to like connect things with your phone? And everybody was like, That's going to be a fad.
Yeah.
And it's like, can you imagine today if there was no Bluetooth? You'd be like, what? No, like we have so many.
Use it for everything.
Use for everything. But you don't even think about it, right? And NFTs over time will really become that. You're going to Coachella, your ticket's going to be an NFT. Like that's going to happen. Things at, when you go to these shows or when you go to events or when you do almost anything, they're going to turn into NFTs just because it's going to be validated through the blockchain. So
for sure. What would you say is the best advice you've ever gotten?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
You said that you're one of those people, you don't tip one toe, you put all 10 in, and you're diving. So.
Yeah, that's one. But I think I do a lot of I'm in sales a lot, but I'm also just in like business development and working with clients. And the biggest thing to learn is to kind of drop your ego and know that whatever you're working on is about the other person. And I think it's even in friendships, right? It's even in anything in life. The more that you stop thinking only about yourself, and the more you think about others, both in business and in personal, so much more is going to come back, right? So like I when I deal with clients, I try to really go like, what's their end goal? How do I get there? And how do I get there even further than they were even thinking? And then, this is the hardest part for everybody, letting them take all the credit for it. Even though maybe you were the mastermind behind it, it's like let them puff out their chest because it only helps you in the long term.
For sure. Ego is a big killer of a lot of things. And I feel like that's why people maybe don't even get to that step is because they can't take a shared accountability. It has to be a singular type of thing. So totally. I feel like I agree with you there. If people came with the warning label, what would yours be? I'm a lot.
I'm a lot. You know what I mean?
Is that what your t-shirt's going to say? I'm a lot?
I'm a lot. The warning label, like, just be prepared for me to also tell the truth and be honest. And
we like the truth here.
Exactly. So, like, and that's why, I'm not going to lie. I was a little nervous about coming on this podcast. I mean, it's a little.
Because
I want the truth.
We want the truth here. See, that's how much we like the truth.
Exactly. So, with everything, it's just like.
So why were you intimidated to come on the podcast?
I wouldn't say I was intimidated. I mean,
why were
Alexis,
you hesitant? Ben?
I mean, Alexis, you are a badass. A lot of people know you for a very long period of time. But
is that because I'm such an alpha that you were intimidated to have a conversation with an alpha, or is it because I did adult movies at one time and you probably maybe watched one and you can't look me in the eye? Or
I can absolutely look you in the eye, and absolutely I'll go on record. Absolutely, come on. No, I actually love alpha females. I am one that enjoys both dating, business, anything, working with alpha females. I'd actually prefer it over anything else because a strong woman does so much damage. Like, they are badasses.
I'm glad that you know these things.
Yeah, I honestly, I do. Like so many of them, the number 2 person, and I'll even say she's probably the number 1 person above me in my company as a woman. And without her, you wouldn't want me on this podcast because I would definitely not be successful. I'd be, I don't know where I would be. So that part I was excited about.
You were excited.
The other part you were saying is, a little bit, off my normal beaten path to that the world knows me.
Are we speaking of Truth with Texas? Is that the part of the that we're
you know where I'm going. You know where I'm going. But
like I said, this is not all about to be like the nitty gritty of things, but we want to get to know you a little bit more and in what you feel comfortable letting us know. So it's all up to you, but we, respect honesty and, anything you want to ask me, fair game.
Hey, let's rock. Let's rock. And first off, I'm all for, we were talking about OF, OnlyFans Proud of this. I've helped a ton of my friends with their OFs. I love where the new age of adult, business is going. And I know we're jumping around a little bit, but for me, looking at it as a marketer and a business person, I think it's awesome to watch women and men, but adult stars and kind of amateur women and men going Vivid doesn't need to take all the money. Like, I can go rock this on my own and be my own creator, and I think that that's rad. So
for sure, I think it's a cool, concept of that. Finally, to the point where it's finally the people who are doing the talent are actually benefiting off of the monetary value of
100%.
what people were not as much like using you or manipulating you to get other things that weren't yours. And so with this, I feel like the platforms, there's other ones as well, but it just gives you a way to be your creative how you want to. And also it's a simpler way, because before, theoretically, people who had their own sites, it was the same type of thing, but to get to that step, a lot of people didn't know those things. So it's
100%.
more of a plug and play type of thing, which makes it easier for.
And I actually think this is where a lot of industries are going to go. I think the music industry is going to go there more and more. I think a lot of creators in general are going to go there because, the white guy sitting there, the old white guy was taking home way too much of the money. And I think it's exciting to watch.
I think there was more than just one, but
yeah,
it was lots of hands.
Yeah, lots of hands taking money. But here,
what would you say is your social media weakness that you just can't live without? Maybe you fall down a rabbit hole of YouTube videos, Twitter, Instagram.
See, for me, this question, I'm going to have to flip it, and it's actually more difficult for me because,
tell us.
Social media is just, I have a massive love-hate relationship with it because, first off, it's a lot of my day-to-day business work, and then it's also such a huge part of our world now. So, for example, this brings us to, a situation like this, right? Who I am on social media only shows one side of me, and there's a whole other side that, the social media world doesn't see because...
That's why we do podcasts like this, Private Talk with Alexis, Texas, and we give your fans and your listeners what they want.
Damn it, that's why I'm here.
Because, I think a lot of people do hide behind social media as far as clout or this, that, and whatever. But even with my social media, it doesn't portray who I am. But talking to people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like getting to know each other more and getting to see a different side of you with just genuine conversation.
For sure. And
so stop hiding the truth from your fans.
Damn it. But with my socials too, it's I think one of the more difficult things is it's hard for me to find time to film content of myself that I really love. Because I'm so busy doing it for others that then my content becomes almost throwaway content that I enjoy the message. But
when's the last time you posted?
I posted... My assistant's here. I posted yesterday, right?
Somebody posted.
I posted
for
yesterday.
You? Somebody posted.
No,
for
we did
you.
it together. Damn it!
I want the truth.
I actually posted that one. He helped me though. I would go a week not post anything anywhere, and it's just it's frustrating to me because I would love, and I think one of my goals for 2022 is to really kind of take the power back a little bit of what I want the world to know about me. Because there's so much more than me just being quote unquote motivational guy, which is hard because it's tough to get on there.
But it's about vulnerability, and it's
100%.
not easy for anybody. And even myself included with, the podcast with me, this is the first time people got to hear my voice and my, what I really was saying and not filtered what they assumed, whatever.
Yeah.
Because I don't give a lot out, but I also felt like I needed a time to see another side because it's only one image. And I feel like vulnerability is really important, especially
Totally.
the older that we grow, is because like you said before, everybody needs to grow and help each other. If you
Let's
know
go.
that, then
Let's go.
you can do it.
Let's go.
So stop being scared.
I know, right?
Stop being scared. Do you have a moment that you would wish you could relive and maybe get a do-over?
Oh man. And there's a few
Do you
times.
want me to give you one of these?
I know,
Help
right?
you a little bit.
I mean, Jesus. There's a few times. Oh man, I was gonna say there's a few times in Vegas. No, but career-wise, if you're going the business route, there was definitely times in my last career where I would have gone and stood up for myself a little bit more, whereas I didn't have the confidence back then. Maybe people thought I did, but I would have gone back and been no, let's do this way. I had a music artist I worked with, and there was just a lot of manipulation from everyone involved, and I got manipulated a lot. And I just wish I could have gone back because this dude should have been a superstar. He should have been a household name today. And there was a lot of manipulation that made it not happen. And
more stand up for whatever you believed in.
Yeah. And so I've learned as I've gotten older to do a lot more of that. And now I do it. Now it gets me in trouble sometimes because like, you know, sometimes you got to tell people what they want to hear, and that's hard for me. Like even when I think there's a better route to stand up there and go like, I think this would do a little bit better. It's tough because people don't always want to hear that. People want to hear what they kind of want to hear sometimes.
So do you have any go-to strategies that you get to like achieve to those goals, like that help you get to there?
Well, explain that to me one more time.
Like a go-to strategy of like maybe mantras that you do or things that you clear your mind. You like, you know, exercise daily. Do you have like kind of daily rituals that you do that kind of get you to them?
Couple things where you're going there. I have a trainer now 5 times a week. This is all new for me since my birthday. My birthday was in September. And
Happy belated.
Yeah, so I've been going really hard. And like
what's changed? Like what made you do that? Because what kind of
I wanted to make, you know, I think we all have our level of excuses.
How old did you turn?
What's that?
How old did you turn?
The people don't know that.
I want to know this.
Yeah, but that's you hit the thing. You may want the truth.
I want the
I
truth.
definitely want to. Why do people not know your age?
You're not getting the truth.
But why don't people give you? You're not a like. That's usually I've never heard a man not give their age.
Damn it. Next question. I was told I don't have to answer everything. No, I don't know.
That's hilarious.
I'm 41.
So what made you switch at that point? You know, so it's like now.
No, I mean, you know, fitness.
Were you always kind of working out here and there?
Exactly. Like fitness has always been one of those things where like I go in, I go out, I go in, I go out.
And 41's not old, by the way. Calm down. Relax.
Thank you. But yo, like this was the time where I was like, let me just like do this. Like financially, I was fine. And I was like, yo.
It has to become a lifestyle.
Yeah. And
it's a job to work out.
And I know for myself, I needed that level of a trainer to help me with accountability. Comes to my house 5 times a week and just beats the shit out of me.
For sure.
And I love it. I'm like enjoying it a lot right now. And it's been going great. And so that was a big change that I made. So, and then the other thing is right, I wake up every day, glass half full, and just like, yo, as much as like the day before I may have gotten just my ass kicked, I'm gonna wake up the next day and I'm trying to work my tail off and just win the day. Today, for example, this morning's been rough. I've just been dealing with a bunch of stuff. Hasn't been one of those mornings you want to like be hyped about. And even now, I'm like, yo, it's all good. It's gonna work itself out. Like,
you're welcome. You have Alexis Texas is present here
Let's
on the Private
go.
Talk is here watching and getting to know you
I'm
more.
enjoying this a lot.
I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Yo,
and
subscribe.
Comment down below and tell me, you know, if you are enjoying this interview like I am. Oh. So are those the only 2 things that you would say that you swear by now? So working out with a trainer, did you put eating better in this regimen of things 100%. That you do?
Like I didn't always do that, but like that's like the newest part of this. Cause like I was seeing muscular gains like in certain areas, but I'm like, man, I just want to,
So now you're all in.
Yeah, I'm all in.
All in.
We'll see how long it lasts on the food part. I'm a foodie. I'm Italian. Like I love to eat.
There's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like there's a balance. That's the thing. It's like you have to either really put in the work
That's
so
always,
you can really eat.
But straight up, it's always been a struggle for me. Like I'm not a great balance guy. Like,
so if I put pasta or some like, big heavy meal, you're like gonna be all in.
No, I'm good. I'm
You're
good.
About
I'm
it
good.
now.
Yeah, I'm good. Good.
So it's not that like of a guilty pleasure.
I mean,
what is your guilty pleasure? If it was in front of your face at the table, you just couldn't resist it. There has to be something.
I mean, I'm obsessed with this sushi spot that I've been going to for 3 times a week for the last 5 years. And
That's obsessive.
You want to know? You want to know the fucked up part about it? It's literally 1 minute from here, and I already had my like horrible lunch that like I'm on right now.
So you were excited that you were close?
No, because I'm not gonna have it because like I'm on this keto diet. I'm cutting rice right now.
So you're really upset right now, is what you're.
Yeah.
That you're that close and you can't have it. So
yeah, because I totally would go. Like
what
the
is
second,
this place?
Kazunori.
Okay, yes.
Hand roll bar.
Yes.
It's incredible. I'm obsessed.
I've been there like twice.
They know me.
Oh
like,
God.
Yeah, like that's my squad. Like that's my people.
It's like your Cheers.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you always get the same thing?
Mostly, yeah.
Is that the only location?
No, there's one on Wilshire.
Like, why are you all
It's owned by Sugarfish.
I know. Yeah.
So
this only one that the hand roll one is the only one.
There's like 6 of them. Like 6 of them. But I used to come to this one. So like I became homies with 3 of the managers, all of which have left by the time I'm still, my obsession keeps going. People are like, you'll get sick of it. I'm like, yeah.
I used to go to Sugarfish like 3 times like a week for lunch with my girlfriend. It was like our ritual thing.
Yeah.
It was I get you.
But I got sick of Sugarfish.
Me too. I haven't been in
But
probably
Kazu-
almost a year.
But Kazu, I haven't gotten sick of it at all. Like
Yeah.
I'll go to Sugarfish once
The
in
way
a while.
that your tone changed, I could really believe that was sincere. It was
Yo.
this love affair of yours that you're having.
It's that too.
So what is your dating life? Are you single, married,
I am
taken?
single.
Single. Ready to
Damn
mingle?
it.
Or are you just, just doing your life thing at 41?
I'm always mingling, but I'm single.
How do you find time to mingle if you are with all these businesses that you have going on?
I mean, honest,
are you on dating apps? Are you anything like that?
I've been on a few of them dating apps.
Are you swiping right?
So
how does that work?
here's part of the reason I'm on dating apps, right? So social media is a wild thing, right? And I think the perception on social media is rough because like a woman, especially in Los Angeles, may look at who I am on social and I don't know where their head goes, right? Whereas on a dating app, they have no clue who I am. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they're like, wait, is this a scam? Like, is this really you? And I'm like, yes, it's me. But like, it's kind of cool to just be like, oh, you just saw my photos, read a couple sentences about me, and you still are like down to.
But do you think that that's where it stops? Like, do you think that people like Google you or like in that situation? Dating apps for me, I can't do because A, they think they're getting catfish and won't allow like an account anyways. Or two, I just feel like you're going to look me up and like, it's just weird. I'd rather meet you on like authentically for you to just go home and figure it out.
I know.
Than for me to like give you ammunition.
Authentically is difficult right now, especially like, I don't know.
That's why I'm single and not being mingling.
I can't remember the last time I went to like a bar or club and was like, hey, what's good? Like, I don't remember the last time.
But I also think it's a time of like, it's like more people who are getting together, people that they've already known people, like kind of been friends kind of before.
And then the other problem is it's like, I've had people try to set me up and that's never it. Like,
you've had a horrible setting up history.
I mean, I just more or less like.
Do you feel obligated for it to work because it's like a friend setting you up?
Yeah, and then you're like, what do I do? Like now I like.
What's the worst date you've ever had in that scenario?
In that scenario, I mean, I've had some bad dates in other scenarios.
But in like a setting up situation.
I've just kind of like told people not to do it. So I haven't had a lot.
So you haven't had a lot?
No, not of that. I've had some bad dates.
Okay, tell us a bad date story.
I mean, I have no I just think you gotta look like your pictures. And like,
so you got catfish. Was it even remotely looking like the picture, or was like?
I've been catfished a handful of times. And here's my thing: I'm super sweet about it. I will go to dinner, have a great time. But like to me, honesty in dating is 100% the thing. And here's the thing: like some of them, they're beautiful in their own way. But like, I just think you gotta like my photos. I think if you saw them, you're like, okay, that's him. Most women have said like, you look better than your photos. I'm like, thank you. Okay. And I'm like, cool. But like, I just think you gotta be careful with that. And then, I would say the majority of poor dates I've gone on, first dates, is like the moment they sit down, they're like asking me for social media help. Like, what should they do on their social media?
After going on a date,
like 5 minutes into the no. This is just in general.
Okay.
This is just in general, and it's like, it's just a tough thing when you work like a 10-hour day. You're going out.
You're gonna go to work some more.
And it's like, so how do I get my followers up? And I'm like, can we do this on like date 4? Like maybe date 5? It's all good, but like date 5, maybe date.
So that's where this is the story we're going with. It's just that there's more in there. You're not telling me the goods. Like don't get me wrong. Like that's really, I feel like embarrassed for them to do that on a first date. Cause I feel like you're just filtering through what your profile is and saying who can help me pretty much.
Yeah. I mean,
but like, what's the worst thing that somebody like,
I'm also not.
Did they get too drunk because you don't drink? So did somebody like overindulge?
Oh, that's happened. Situation? That's happened. Yeah, I mean, I've had some people get drunk on first dates where like I have to like.
The first date.
Yeah, and I'm like, here's my thing. Being a guy that doesn't really drink a lot, I'll have a shot with you. The other thing is, it's kind of frustrating when a girl asks me like 15 times to drink. And like, I'll have a shot with you and I'll be like, okay, I'll have one shot. And then they still just perpetually try to get me.
Like a pusher.
Yeah. And I'm just like, yo, like you can drink as much as you want. But like me, like, let me live.
Let me live.
Damn it.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
Flakiness. I just hate when people are flaky.
Biggest strength of yours? You didn't say that with much.
No. I mean, I would say my biggest strength is it's definitely being able to get back up after being knocked down so many times. And then I think compassion and like really just really thinking of other people, like walking in other people's shoes and trying to understand how other people are feeling.
Empathy. Mm-hmm. Nice. All right. Is there anything that you want to plug for us at Private Talk before we get to one of my favorite parts as you spill water?
Literally just spilled water all over me. Oh my goodness gracious. And this is on camera. Wow. Ben can't drink.
You're wet.
Yeah.
Things are happening over here.
They're gonna use that to
Things
my
are
detriment.
happening over here.
Anything I want to plug? No, I mean, you can go to my social media. Ben times 10 is like all my socials and stuff. Honestly, like
10 times 10.
Honestly, like I don't really need to plug anything. I'm just happy to be here with you, Alexis.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, Private Talk. I hope you are enjoying this episode. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and then we're going to get to my favorite part, Truth with Texas. All right, Private Talk. We are back, and we're going to play my favorite game, Truth with Texas. Are you ready for Truth with Texas? I feel like this is what you've been nervous about the whole time.
You know. We'll be.
I'll be gentle. We'll start really slow, and
let's
then
go.
I promise it won't get too bad. All right, so we're gonna play. It's a 4 aces. Each ace is a different suit, and each suit is a different type of question. We're gonna go through each one of them and get to know you a little bit more.
Let's go.
Let's do this. All right.
You're shuffling them. I'm gonna get them all. So
I know, but it makes it more,
Ace
stimulating.
of Hearts.
Ooh, it's a romantic question.
Okay.
Would you consider yourself a romantic?
I think I am, but I think it depends on the setting.
What is the most romantic thing you've done for a partner? Since you are romantic.
Okay.
Oh, look, there's a lot. There's a list. You're
filtering.
You're filtering through.
I mean, first off, I've been single for 6 years, so like.
So you have. What does that mean? That you do romantic things for people?
I would still say I do.
You haven't done
do
things in 6 years for someone.
No, absolutely. I've still done some stuff, but like, my ex loved Disney, and like, we definitely had like some very romantic times at Disney where I would like pull out some certain stops to make it
little
awesome.
Disney stops.
Yeah, and then
she'll talk about for a lifetime.
Yeah, and she was obsessed with dogs, and I gave her a pup, and like it was a rescue, and she fell in love with this dog, and it was amazing.
So you're a gift giver. Is that your love language?
My love language on my side is touch.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely it's kind of finding ways to surprise or make somebody happy through things like that.
Do you like sexting?
I would say yes, I do.
Have you ever sent a naughty pic?
I mean, here's my answer to this question. Because, like, I love when men or women are like, I've never done that. I'm like, come on. Like, if you're like...
So you're saying that everybody's lying because they've done it at least once?
I would say so.
I believe that 1,010%.
And
I feel like men, honestly, there are some, I would say there's a gray area. I'd say like there's probably 10% people that probably have it that just would never kind of thing. But I feel like men should be more creative. Like nobody wants to see a dick pic. Like not at all. Not saying that you sent one. I'm just saying in general.
I 100% agree. One thing that has been wild from talking to a lot of women is the amount of unsolicited pics like that they've received.
I used to, before I had my podcast, I had a radio show on Vivid Radio, and we used to talk about this, that I would get so many dick pics in my DMs. I was like, I need a coffee table book. I wouldn't put who they were, but it was just literally all kinds of dicks. Now I get paid to rate what their dick looks like, so it's
which
really
all of it's really weird to me.
I think
that is a wild thought process. I was literally talking to a girl the other day, and she was like, on numerous occasions, like the first time that they were supposed to talk on FaceTime, they'd be like, oh, let's FaceTime. She's just like thinking it's going to be a normal, like, hey, nice to meet you. and he's just like, it's
His
just
dick's out?
Yeah, just straight up there. And I'm just like,
wow, that's bold.
Yeah.
See, I don't dating is difficult in general, but
Yeah.
I have so since I don't go on dating apps, I would never FaceTime that person. So I've never been in that situation, but that's crazy. I would be very upset.
but samesies. Like, I'm
but
like,
that's just like what warrants you to want to do that?
I think that people, I don't really, I struggle to answer because that's always been like a stern thing.
Have you sent a dick pic to your girlfriend?
I mean,
Yes, you have. It's all right. I got your answer. But I was thinking in my head of people I've dated. Like, there's only been one person who I would never thought he would have sent it to me, but he did send it to me. It was the best picture ever. But nobody else has ever just unsolicited, even me just talking to them.
But see, I have never sent an unsolicited.
But if you're
picture
in a
like
relationship, I feel like that's part of like your relationships. If you're sexting throughout the day
Yeah,
or
if,
whatever,
like,
and
people
that's
are
not
traveling,
unsolicited. That's more like you're being sexy, engaging in your relationship.
Yeah,
I'm talking about someone you're not in a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship. You're just talking, or what people say.
people
these
are
days.
traveling, things like that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
For me, I'll send the same 1 to 5 people. Like, I have no shame. Like, and I got paid on OnlyFans for it. Who's stopping me? Nobody.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't really do that. I've done it before, but I don't really have 5 people to send it to at the moment. So only like 1, probably 2, maybe 2 get it.
And I mean, I would think in the circumstance of people that are dating you, I would be like pretty like frustrated to be like, yo, if it's OF content, like I want some different, like give me.
I've had that before.
Give me at least like a different outfit.
When
or
I
some
dated
shit.
somebody in the past, they were like, I don't want any of that OnlyFans stuff. I want my own stuff. So I literally had to do the like separate things. And they would never know, but I generally did do stuff just for them. But
that's awesome.
I mean, I could understand. But
I love how
the
you
bitch
were
is
like,
busy and you can't be doing.
I love how she was like, we're gonna go really gentle from the start and just like went straight to like a 15.
That's not 15. This is my gentle.
Jesus. Some of this is not making
Lights on or lights off?
Lights on, always.
Booty shorts or a thong?
Nothing.
What would be your perfect date night?
Spontaneous traveling.
Cute. Like a road trip type of thing, or just
Nah,
plain, you're just any traveling?
Yeah, just like, yo, meet me at my house, pack a bag for the weekend.
Got it.
That's like perfect. But and then like besides that, it would be just something kind of low key, like
Cute. Romantic.
Yeah.
Nice. Next one.
Wait, so that's like that's romantic?
Yeah. You're welcome.
Jesus.
Get ready. Hold on. That's a kinky one. I don't think you're kinky. I think you're scared to be kinky. Just kidding. I don't know you to say that. But favorite time of day to have sex? Hold on a minute. How did you not think my questions were romantic? We went from perfect date. Which question did you really not like?
I mean, we're just gonna keep moving.
You didn't like it that much?
No, I'm just saying, like,
okay,
you were like sexting dick pics are not romantic.
No, but it went from sexting and then it navigated to dick pics. Some people may think that when you're in a relationship, when it's like going in a sexual thing.
I don't think that would ever be considered romantic.
Depends on who you're talking to.
Okay, I guess Alexis.
Touché. The way to my heart is not dick pics, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But it is a game. We have it a little spicy. Warming you up. Are you back in the saddle? Are you ready?
I'm back in the saddle. I would say that everybody sees like my body language, and I'm just like, Jesus, please, none of my clients see this. So I would say favorite time. I wouldn't really say I have one.
So you're just ready to go all the time.
Sure.
I feel like you're not going to want to answer any of these times. Okay, this is not so bad. What is the most number of times that you've had sex in one day?
A handful, 2 or 3 or something like that.
Okay, let's go on to the next question.
No,
I can't answer you any of these. You're not going to answer them.
Just try me on the next one. I don't know.
Most uncomfortable place you've ever had sex?
Yeah, I'll
This is a mild question.
That's super mild.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, here's my thing, right? Like the public thing. the question, I'll even ask you back this, right?
Okay.
The public thing to me is like, do you want to get caught or not get caught? Because
But I think that's the thrill for some people.
yeah. So for me, like, I don't really have any desire to be caught. But
Gotcha.
like,
So it doesn't stimulate you.
no, but somebody like watching that's supposed to be watching, that can be interesting.
Okay, like an observer.
Sure.
A
But
voyeur.
like somebody like that is
Yeah.
not.
But you're not doing like something random thing where someone you could possibly get caught in any like area.
I
No
mean,
Mile High Club for you. No nothing.
unless it was like a private jet.
Got you. No
Yeah.
commercial flights.
Yeah, and I've never flown on a private jet, so we're not looking good right now. So yeah,
Dirty talk, yes or no?
during.
Yeah. You prefer it. You don't care. Whatever.
And I'm not like avoiding the question. It's like, I'm more of like an action visual type of person than I am like a.
Have you ever been blindfolded during sex?
Once again, I'm a super visual person, so for me that just doesn't like it's not like on the list of like, ooh, I want to try that. Same thing
You
with
seem
like
more of like a very like a sensual person. Like you're not trying to whips and chains and like do things, which is fine. People don't. I mean, I'm not that way myself either. It's just one of those things. I feel
Alexis,
like it's just,
you're putting me in a very difficult position because like
am
right.
I putting you in a box?
Oh, hold on. No. Here's the problem, right, guys? We're just gonna level set, right?
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
You got both of those.
We're gonna level set for a second. I love my company, and I have a wonderful amount of employees that work really hard, and I have some really, really, really great clients. And I do have to think about if they're on the other side of this, watching this, going like, what did he just say? So
I don't think anything that I've asked you has been over the line. That's crazy.
Here's what I'll tell you. If I answered them truthfully,
So you've been lying to us?
No, I think that I'm just giving you my baseline
Your baseline.
PG answers. But what I will tell you, I'll give you a little bit of a
hate
secret.
all of this.
I'll give you a little bit of a secret. The last thing you said to me is completely wrong.
Okay.
I am not like a vanilla.
I didn't think that you're a vanilla, but I'm just
I'm
finding
not
it's like
vanilla at all. I don't like pain, so like whips and chains, you are correct.
Yeah, I don't like pain and association.
Yeah, like pain is not.
Yeah.
Can I flip this and ask you a question?
Facts. Go ahead.
And this is such a weird thing to jump to. The Dave Portnoy situation.
Ooh.
The owner of Barstool. You don't know anything about this?
What happened?
Oh, this makes this not as fun.
Sorry. I don't...
Oh,
Well, tell me the story. Maybe I'm horrible with names. Maybe I know.
No, he's the owner of Barstool. He's like getting crushed right now because Business Insider came out with this article about like essentially trying to get him canceled about his sex life. But there was nothing. There was nothing really in it that was at all illegal. Okay. It was just like he likes rough sex, or he likes, he hooked up with 19-year-old girls, and like. There's so many people in the world trying to cancel him. And honestly, when I am on this podcast right now, I'm like, yo, people are always searching for ways to be like, see, I knew it. Ben, da-da-da-da-da, Dave, da-da-da-da. And I'm not a huge Portnoy guy. I'm not a huge Barstool guy. But like my issue right now is that a decade ago, 2 decades ago, before social media, you could really just be you. And like, it was all good because it was behind closed doors. I think what's behind closed doors now is like, it's just free game. And I think that's part of your podcast. And that's why you have people like me that you kind of want me on to squirm.
I don't want you to squirm per se. No, I just want you to be open to other questions. And from I said from the beginning, anything that you didn't feel comfortable with, that you had the option to say you didn't want to say anything to. I just think you should open yourself up. And even if you're in business, and myself, I'm in business too, but not on your level of what you do.
No, for sure.
But at the same time, I think that there's no harm in letting people know a different side of you in a playful way. I don't think that it is anything else.
So back to where you were going though. Not vanilla. I love spontaneity. Like, I love things.
I think he wanted us to get this out there that he's not vanilla. Okay, we understand.
Yeah,
I feel like he felt offended by that comment.
Not offended. I'm just like,
you're like, don't put me in this box of vanilla.
She
doesn't get me at all.
No, hold on. You can give me.
She doesn't get me at all. Take another card.
No, give me. You don't want to give me one more out of this?
No,
I feel like, no. Okay.
Those ones aren't good for you. Trust me. Spicy.
Spicy.
We're all a little.
I
spicy.
love that word.
Okay, top 5 porn stars. Do you have any? Do you watch porn?
Okay, so first off, I'm so glad you just asked me this last part. I was literally driving here and I was telling somebody, we're telling my trainer's brother, but like, yeah, I'm going on Alexis, Texas porn star. And he's like, I don't know who that is. I'm like, sure you don't, bro. And then I was like, yeah, she's a porn star, right? Or she was a porn star. Would you still consider yourself a porn star now?
I don't know the
adult star.
The name. I mean, I haven't done any adult films in over 5 years.
Yeah, so
I don't like the word retired because I just don't think I'm a former adult star. There we go.
Okay, but so he rattles off what you just asked me. He's like, oh, I don't watch porn, and I'm like, come on.
Everybody watches porn.
Yeah, and it's
the movies nobody watches.
Yeah, it's like that's why Pornhub and these places are worth like $1 zillion trillion. Come on, stop.
People like to watch and look at tantalating things.
Yeah, for sure, and I think that is totally fine. So back to my answer on that. Yes, but I am not like a.
You're not under the name basis.
No, I'm not. But that's just never been me. I would say the only time that was me was when I was younger. Was Jenna Jameson, like when I was like young. Because back then there was no there wasn't really like a Pornhub or those types of places. So you had to like search for something. Yeah. And like she was
popping up a lot.
Yeah, she was that bitch back then.
Ooh, okay, let's see. Celebrity Hall Pass. If you could at any moment in time have a celebrity of your dreams, who would she be?
So this is an interesting question. I've had this question often in right now. It would probably be it was always Rihanna for a long time.
Oh, that's mine. She's my
it was always Rihanna, but like I feel like Rihanna has like chilled it out. Like she's like, even with Savage X Fenty, like, but she's like chilled it out, and I feel like her and ASAP seem so happy. Maybe
you don't want to ruin a happy home.
Yeah, maybe Lori Harvey. I don't know. She's
with Michael B. Jordan. They just celebrated a year.
Yeah,
You're
she's
gonna
stunning.
ruin their happy home.
I'm not gonna ruin any happy home.
This is a hall pass.
I'll tell you a funny one, and it's never gonna come to fruition, so I'll say it on here. I matched with Mel B on Raya. And I was super hyped, but then she moved to London. So I never like met her. We never really kept in contact, but I was like
the one that got away.
No, but I just read stories about Mel B and I'm like, yo, she just sounds like a vibe and sounds just so interesting. And I feel like the conversations would be epic and other things would be epic too. So
hey, I'm down for it. Maybe she'll come back.
You never know. You never know.
You never know. All right, last card.
The Ace of Spades.
That's our favorite here. It's a naughty question. They're all a little naughty.
I know. Like, what's the difference?
Well, it's just a little naughtier, a little spicier, a little kinkier. All in great fun. Trying to be nice.
I know. Jeez.
What is your porn name? The name of your first pet and the street you grew up on. What is the first pet you ever owned? What was the name?
I want to stop you because it's just terrible. It's like not even a good one. I feel like there's better questions there because it's like
I don't think you're gonna like any of these naughty questions.
Sunny Ann would be mine, and I'm like, who wants that in their life?
Yeah, mine's Bullet Berlin. It was really cool.
Yeah, like you should have like used that. Although Alexis, Texas, like
favorite place to have sex.
Go to another one, because, like, that's not...
Biggest turnoff.
I'm still going to let you rattle a couple more. Biggest turnoff would be just, like, people not being what they say they are, being flaky, and just being, like, going one way, then going to another.
Being called out in public for having a boner.
Never had it happen. Man, I feel like I'm totally striking out. Look on one of the other lists, because I'll give you like one good one, and I'm like, Alexis,
Have you?
Alexis is so
you're not
mad
gonna
at me right
ask
now.
me this. You're not gonna answer me, but you have.
Go ahead.
Have you ever faked an orgasm?
Yes.
Why? Because why I asked this is because I had a male friend tell me this. We were at dinner talking, and he was like, "Yeah, I faked." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Men do this?" He's like, "What are you thinking right now of all the men you've had sex with? They faked it?" I'm like, "There's no way." But he's like, "I stopped because I don't." What did he say? I don't remember
It's actually the wrong.
I didn't think that existed.
It's not even really like have I faked an orgasm, like sure, but like it's more or less I've just like stopped and just been like, yo, like it's
just not working.
It's
But
not,
you said that.
yeah, in nicer ways.
See, these people didn't say it. They just acted like they did
in nicer ways, but just being like, yo, I just don't think this is vibing. And I felt horrible, but like, you know, you're an hour in, it's like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I've only had to tell us one person at a time, like, what are you doing? Please get off me. This is not for me.
I would tell you this, and I mean,
I was not nice about it.
a whole nother subject, but like the amount of stories that women have told me of like just guys not caring about them.
Oh, that's like, I mean, I feel like most men till they're like 20, in their late 20s. Most of them. I feel like it's a selfish fucking going on.
Yeah.
But yes. All right. Is there any question that you want to ask me? I feel like you did the best that you could do for me, and I feel like I appreciate it, but I feel like I just couldn't go really hard on you because I was respecting your boundaries. So I feel like, you know, I got what as much as I could.
You know what? You know what I want to do?
What do you want to do?
I'd do another version of this with you at some point to go on like the back side of your OF that like can't be recorded, and I could just like.
Didn't Kanye just say that everyone fucking takes OF on Reddit or whatever it is?
I know he just said that stuff, but no, I mean, I think I really enjoyed this. It's just I
get it. You know, you're being PC. I get it.
But you want to know the reason why? It's not because of me. It's because It's because the other people it would affect. And that's the problem.
All I can do is.
And you know what I hope? I hope it changes at some point. Like I hope, and I have this conversation with so many people, and this is something I would love to say. I hope sex at some point in my lifetime isn't taboo. I just really, and I know like that's what you're attempting to do and you're trying. But the screwed up part is like, it doesn't matter. Like what you should read that article about Dave. And I'm not saying Dave's the greatest dude ever, but like I read through this and I'm like, yo, this shouldn't have ever come out. He did nothing wrong in these. You know, he did nothing wrong. You're just trying to smear him. And my issue is like, why does it matter? Like I am totally against mistreating women. And I think women should be treated as queens. I try to treat every woman to make her feel amazing and feel incredible. But with that being said, like whatever one decides to do in their sex life should not make a brand be mad at somebody for what they're talking about.
I agree, and I feel like it's all personal choice. I feel like I understand what you're saying respectfully, and I feel like, you know, there are things that are moving and changing, and even myself of, you know, rebranding myself and going south. You say that like I'm trying to do. I have faith that I will achieve it and do it.
I think you will.
For me, I feel like it's, you know, it was my choice, and it's something, it shouldn't define who I am. It's only a part of who I am, but I feel like there's much more to me, and that's why I have
100%.
a lot of stuff, you know, with Private Talk going on, and I feel like we're gonna.
I mean, honestly, you're obviously very smart, intelligent, brilliant, doing badass things. You're a great interviewer. And, you know, a person that I would say that was this person while I was growing up was Howard Stern, who could always get stuff out of people that they'd be like, wait, what did I just say on that interview? And I think that it's I will admit this wholeheartedly. I said stuff on this thing that I did not think I would say. And to you, I was tame. But still...
I respect that.
If you go look at my social media, like people be like, wait, what did he say? And I'm saying like, yo, I respect you. I think you're a badass, and I'm really happy I did this.
Thank you. I appreciate you for coming and taking your time. I know you are a busy man, and thank you for coming on Private Talk and trusting me that I wouldn't go too far with you. I hope you had fun.
I did.
And until next time, Private Talk.